all face barriers in life, whether they're emotional, mental, physical, structures, perceived or imagined. And I guess over my own life course, I faced them all. I was born in Dublin's north inner city, not too far from here, an area that is ravaged and has been ravaged by drug abuse, HIV, and in recent times, gang warfare. In the mid-70s, I moved out to the Coolock area. By the time of 7, 8, 9 years of age, I was systematically abused by a priest in the local area. When I was 10 years of age, I brought it to the attention of the police, to the school, and to the church. 2 things happened. 1, I wasn't believed. 2, the crimes were hid by the police, the education system, and the church. My barriers are very much rooted in societal attitudes and institutions. Because kids in the area were told then not to play with me. Teachers didn't want to teach me. Every chance they got, they put me outside the classroom. In fact, I was the first child suspended from that school. The lay people of the church told their kids not to play with me. I couldn't walk down certain roads in my own area. I was ran off the roads by these parents. People that were on the board of the school ran me off the roads. I couldn't attend, I wasn't allowed to go, then I wasn't allowed back into the local youth club. All these barriers were put up. My abuser collared me in the school a couple of times in front of teachers and told me if I didn't retract what I was saying, I'd be taken out of my home and I'd be put in a home where nobody would know what had happened to me or what was being done. He also used to collar me in the estate, just pull up in the car beside me. I'm going to take you away with your family. At 7, 8, 9 years of age, a lot of fear, and I didn't know how to deal with fear at that stage. So I became very angry from fear. I became very aggressive, and I rebelled against society and its institutions that I believed had put all these social barriers in my way. So as life went on, that aggression and violence became a statement of intent. And when I was 15 years of age, I made a decision, no one was ever going to hurt me again. I didn't care who you were, you weren't going to hurt me again. I'd come from that hurt. So at what point did I cross over from being a victim to a monster? Because I can tell you, when I was asked in school what I wanted to be when I grow up, I didn't put my hand up and say, I wanted to be a survivor of sexual abuse. I want to be a heroin addict because I can't deal with the traumas that's gone on in my young life. I want to be an armed robber. I want to be a monster. They're not the things I said. I never heard anyone else in the class say that either. What I did say was, I wanted to be a soldier. I wanted to join the Irish Army. And I wanted to be an Irish history lecturer. That stuff was robbed from me. That's how I felt. So I spiraled into a life of crime and addiction. I ended up in prison, doing numerous sentences, totaling about 16 and a half years. And while in prison, I decided this was another institution that was going to try and push me down, beat me down. I found a new way to fight. I went to school. I asked them to teach me how to read and write properly, and they did. I was 25 years of age. I went and I done all the training courses that were here, and I got involved in the drama. A couple of lead roles and a few plays. So I knew I wasn't actually stupid. I knew I could learn, I knew I could take things in. So when I got out, I dealt with my anger issues and I dealt with my addiction. And I upskilled in all the skills that I had learned and the courses I had done in prison. Coaching courses, FAI coaching courses, GAA coaching courses. I've done everything. I've done the AVP, to deal with my violence. I was involved in the drama. I wrote songs and I wrote poems. So I knew I was talented. I was just never nurtured as a child. So I started working as a sports facilitator for the CDBT, which is now the CDBT. So I kind of got in under the radar. I was volunteering with the homeless World Cup team at the time. They came third that year, and I was offered a job. So I didn't go through any vetting process. 18 months into the job, someone realised Wayne hasn't done any vetting. So the boss came to me, you need to fill out the vetting. Barrier straight away. So he said, look, this is who I am, what I've done, where I came from. Boss, I'll be cracking jokes, Wayne. No, I said, no, I'm being serious. So he went and he had a look and the laptop and stuff, and he just went, wow. He said, I'd have never known that or thought that of you. So he just said, look, hand in your resignation, work the month, I'll give you a reference. Fill out the vetting, you know, you're putting a stamp on yourself. So I done that, worked my resignation, and I decided then that instead of fighting society and institutions, I wanted to give back, I wanted to help. So I wanted to help the next sexual abuse victim that came in the door behind me, or the next person that was a child that didn't know how to deal with their anger issues and acted out deviant behaviour, or someone that had addiction issues. I wanted to give back, I wanted to help. I didn't want the kids coming behind me to go through what I went through, because I didn't think it was necessary. You know, I didn't think that stuff needed to happen. So I went and I became a drug support worker, and then drug policy changed and you had to have alcohol training. So I went and I done more education, and I went access route into UCD, and I done a diploma in community drugs and alcohol work. And again, on the diploma, faced another barrier. Part of the diploma was I had to do a placement. Nowhere gave me a placement, couldn't get me vetting back. So the boss where I was working came up with a plan, little white lie, and all of a sudden I had placement, you know. So that was grand. However, we were to graduate on the 8th of September, and on the 29th of September I was called over to UCD. Had an appointment because he wanted to talk to me around my vetting. My vetting still hadn't come back, so I hadn't even got my last 6 modules results, so I didn't even know what my GPA was. I went over, they set me down, they said, what's the story with your vetting? It's not coming back. So I said, I'm going to be honest, and I was honest to a fault, and they just were kind of sitting there and they were kind of blown away, and they just said, can you come back in a half an hour? I'm back in a half an hour, and they said, look, we're going to graduate you. So happy days, you know, that all that fear had lifted, because I kind of thought I was going over to be told we're not graduating you. By the time I left the campus that day, my grades were so good, I was actually blown away by my own grades. They had offered me a scholarship and to do an honours degree in social science and sociology. I hadn't a clue what social science and sociology was. So, I had said, I'm no good at science. He said, what? I says, I'm not wearing a white coat and goggles, it's not me. They were like, no, Wayne, that's not what social science is. So they explained to me, it's all right, happy day. I says, I'm one of them, jump in and do it, you know what I mean? I'll try something, I'll try anything, you know. So I done that. And at the end, in 3rd year, it was a social work path I was on, and I wanted to become a social worker. My end game was I wanted to be a probation officer. So in 3rd year, I applied for the Masters, done the interview, had the grades. They pulled me aside and they said, look, you interviewed great, you have the work experience, you have the hours, you have the grades, you know, the problem is you have a criminal record. They couldn't place me, so they got onto a hospital, no, Tulsa, obviously, no, probation service, no. So UCD, School of Law, stepped in and offered me a Master's in Criminology and Criminal Justice. So I went on, I done the Master's in Criminology and Criminal Justice. And again, part of the course was you had to go up to Mountjoy So, needless to say, I couldn't go to Mountjoy Prison. So now there's 14 others in the class that realised there's something going on here with Wayne, you know? So I'm dealing with that, and that in itself is a barrier, you know what I mean? Because you reveal yourself to someone. There was 2 in the class that knew because they had come through college with me, you know what I mean? So that was hard as well. Then I was encouraged to go for an internship. I went for the internship last minute. Again, it was like, no, I'm not going. There's no way I'll get it. I got it. So part of the internship was to do a study of the CBHFA program, a community-based health first aid program that's run in the Irish prison systems. So I was brought up to 2 prisons on the north side, on the south side, sorry. So I met the governors, having tea with governors, and I was like, this is surreal. You know, I'm going through and I'm sticking my hand and things, and they're telling me, now make sure you lock the gate arch and all. And I'm like, I was waiting for the camera to come out and say, you were on camera. Like. So I got sent to Stack House with a number of other officers that were in training to do some security training and that. I'd done all that. So I'd been to prison twice, I think, 2 different prisons, met the participants, engaged with them. Someone twigged, Wayne has a criminal record. I never got back into the prison to do that study. And that caused a lot of stress, both for me and my family, because I was 6 weeks from my thesis deadline. So what happened in the end was the probation service jumped in. Someone made a case to the probation service for me. They jumped in and said, we have the lads doing one of the modules on the community return in the probation service in Haymarket. So I was allowed to sit in on that, and then I done my study. It didn't stop there because they were all in different prisons in different parts of the country and all. So I had to actually do my study and conduct it by phone and questionnaire. Then I had to code and transcribe all that. At this stage, it was 4 weeks to my deadline, when I was doing this. So that created its own kind of set of barriers. So you think now at this stage, I'm thinking to myself of a level 3, of a level 5, of a level 7 diploma, of an honours degree and of a master's. I'm employable now, am I? 57 applications to the services, addiction service, homeless services. Not one interview did I get. Not one. Why? Because of the application process is what I believe. I was involved in a campaign last year, Ban the Box in England. Most of the applications are, just for an example, question 5, have you a criminal record? Please tick the box, yes or no. Boom, yes. Question 6, if you've answered yes to question 5, please give details of your criminal record. Straight away, there's a bias there. And I strongly believe that's what happened with me, because not only had I the work experience, the lived experience and the academic record, I had a couple of publications at this stage as well. So I was very much in tune with the work I was trying to get into in the field of study that I had engaged in. So 58 application. At this stage, I'm losing hope, and I made an application. It was to the Bridge Project, which is part of the probation service, and ironically I got the job. So someone realised that I had a skill set that could be utilised, both the lived experience, the academic experience, the work experience that I had up to that point. But part of my job in Bridge is to work with clients in prison. I have 29 clients on my books. A lot of them are in prison. We run a programme called Choice and Challenge, and it's run here in Mountjoy Prison. And I was put forward to run the programme in Mountjoy Prison. No. Blanket no. I couldn't get into the prison to run the programme. But I evaluated the first version of the programme last year. I'm running in the community the second version, and I'm evaluating it. So I'm okay to do all that stuff, but I'm not allowed into the prison where it would actually be more beneficial to the lads to help them address their deviant behaviour. That helps wider society, and it also helps the staff while they're in prison as well. So in the same week, 2 days later after I was refused, I was invited up to talk YASIS, Adverse Childhood Experience, and how trauma-informed practice and responses could be implemented in the Irish prison system. And I refused. And it wasn't to bite my nose off, to spite my face, it was on principle. Because here I was being asked to do something for the prison service because it suited them, but to do something that would actually help people, in prison or stay out of prison. Nobody kind of wanted to know. So my record wasn't a barrier then when it suited. So to be honest, I was very reluctant to do this talk as well. I've actually struggled with trying to do this talk. But as I said, it's about carrying a message that people can change. That as long as there's bridges and there's not barriers at the other end, things can happen, So I'm also, as I said, I dealt with my addiction issues. I'm also a member of a 12-step program. And we run 12-step programs, meetings, in all the Irish prisons. I'm not allowed into the prisons to share my experience, strength and hope that may benefit someone sitting in that meeting. I've been here, I've done this, this is where I am now. It's not read my book. It's actual real life lived experience that people actually identify with. You know, and that's not to take away from people that have work experience or, you know, a long time in services and stuff. But what employers need to understand as well, when I started in Bridge, it was very hard for me. It was very hard for me because here was this lad coming in, this lived experience, some work experience, an academic record, and 2 publications under his belt. So it was hard for me, and it was hard for the staff I work with. So it's not as simple as just giving somebody a job. Sometimes there has to be other supports, and there has to be, you know, if someone is coming in, they're coming straight from, you know, school, college, masters, and they're coming into a job, they mightn't have the same barriers, the same struggles, you know. So it's important to remember that if and when you do give an ex-offender a job, it's not just simply, there's a job, boom. Expect a bit of a hiccup, you know what I mean? Maybe give them that bit more leeway or time, you know what I mean, within reason, and a bit more supervision. When I started in Bridge, I was getting supervised every week. So it's kind of ironic that I'm here today, or is it an opportunity for change? You know, but to kind of sum up, although I've done all this stuff, my outcomes are still situated elsewhere. We still have those barriers in place, but I find ways of getting around them, you know, and over them. I don't run into them headlong anymore, you know. So I'll finish on this. Be the change you want to see. You know, open the doors, don't lock them. Build bridges, not barriers.